Yeah, welcome to the Racer X Exhaust podcast. I'm your host, Jason Wygant. This is brought to you by Yoshimura. 7 decades of four-stroke exhaust research and development. Strap a set on your dirt bike right now. That includes the apparently much improved 2020 Geico Honda CRF 250Rs. There were both public and private rumblings about a lot of craziness last year getting these new Honda engines to run right. That engine was all new in 2018. Some riders liked it, some riders did not. Then they made more changes in 2019. And again, it was all over the map what you were hearing. This is both based on the Honda engine design, which is radically different than the old bike, and then the engine builders and such at Geico Honda. It appears that they've smoothed it all out, they've paved the way, and everybody is very, very happy with their bikes this year. Even Chase Sexton, who had a great year last year, won the 250 Supercross East Championship, was very adamant in his interview after this weekend's race at Tampa that the bike was really a problem last year, and it's really good this year. But the one thing that has been consistent throughout, it's nothing to do with the exhaust system, everybody. It's nothing to do with the exhaust system. Exhaust's been good the whole time. So go to Yoshimura-RD.com and get yourself a Yoshimura set of exhaust, just like the ones run by the Lawrence brothers. And this week we're going to talk to Hunter Lawrence. Do you remember Hunter Lawrence? Do you remember the time over the summer when Hunter Lawrence was winning motos here and there and becoming a contender in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross and really introducing himself to the United States? And really fun kid with a lot of personality, gritty riding style. And then he got hurt almost at the exact same time that his brother Jet blasted onto the scene, winning at Loretta's. And then Hunter was hurt again, and Jet won at Monster Energy Cup. And then Hunter was hurt again, and then Jet almost won the third Supercross he was ever in Anaheim. And then he crashed in spectacular fashion on the final lap. And now all the buzz and hype is about Jet, and Hunter has been way off the radar at the same time. But I do know Hunter pretty well, and he's a really articulate person. I knew he could describe both he and Hunter's latest couple of months accurately and articulate it well. So I rang him up. This interview I actually did right before last week's Tampa Supercross, but I had a lot going on, and I already had a podcast for last week, so I saved it for now. Spoiler alert, he didn't race Tampa anyway, so nothing about this interview is outdated. I think you'll enjoy it. Want to throw the shout out, of course, to Racer X, the magazine. Keep the lights on, support the magazine, subscribe. It's like your donation to us being able to do things like this that cost nothing. And the magazine barely does cost anything. It's $30 for a subscription. If you subscribe now, we'll send you the free bag of Evil Coffee. I know you drink coffee. Everybody does. So you save yourself a few bucks there. And we'll give you a $10 Rocky Mountain ATV MC gift card. So let's say the bag of coffee is $10. Let's say the gift card is $10. Now you're down to $10 left out of the $30 for a subscription, and that is both the print magazine 12 months a year in your mailbox and a digital edition of it. So if you don't think it's convenient to read a print magazine, the digital edition, you can log right in. It reads just like Instagram, very user-friendly. Or if you're on a plane or waiting somewhere and you don't have access to your phone, maybe you like to have magazines, you get that too. This is funny. I just figured something out recently. Although the digital thing is considered what the kids want, the kids of the kids, like the youngest kids, like my son, it's good to have magazines around. He can't read, so having a digital edition on the phone does nothing, but he does love to leaf through the magazine and look at the pictures. So that's cool. And you don't have to worry about him looking at it on a device and seeing other things on the device that he's not supposed to see. Self-censorship. Give your kids the magazine. Easy reason to buy it. So go to racerxonline.com/subscribe. Here's Hunter Lawrence.
What's going on?
What's up? You alive?
Yeah, I'm alive. What do you mean? I'm alive?
Well, I did see you on TV, but I feel like we just haven't heard or seen much. You look good, by the way, in a snazzy white coat. I'll give you that.
Thanks, bud. No, mate, there's not much going on. Just working hard. I mean, there's nothing to be blowing up the internet about.
Right.
No one cares about something I do every single day, routinely, over and over and over for the past month and a half. So
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Show going to therapy or something every single day?
yeah, I'm doing therapy and cycling again, same time, just different day. You know, I mean, I think I'd lose followers.
Yeah, probably. Okay, I got it. Is this on? Is this a loop? Is this a boomerang? Is it just a loop?
Yeah. Something's wrong with this guy's phone. He keeps posting the same stuff.
Stuff. All right, you got some time now. You're good to chat for a bit.
Yeah, bud. Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Yeah. Well, the obvious question: are you recovering? What stage are you at? Are we going to see you racing soon? Do you know what's the deal here?
So yeah, I'm basically doing really well.
Okay.
For what injury I had,
Yep.
we're doing extremely well.
Okay.
Just unfortunately, that doesn't slot into the time frame we wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is, that's the story of every motocrosser's injury. I think I could say, but so I tore the rotator cuff and torn the labrum in my shoulder.
Oh.
And smashed my humeroid which is just bone. That's the easy thing. It takes 3 to 5 weeks and it's golden.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously the ligaments is a 3-month sort of deal. Our orthopedic, who's a sports orthopedic, he works on crazy guys like us all the time, and only crazy high end athletes. And yeah, they say 3 months. But ever since the day after surgery, we've been working really, really hard. Physio. We've invested a lot in physio and outside health and physical health stuff to just try and really get this thing going and just try everything we can. And we are doing extremely well. We're at a month and 2 weeks from the surgery date, and I've been mountain biking for the past 3 weeks on mountain bike trails, and I feel phenomenal. I feel great, like bulletproof. But we had a doctor checkup just last Friday, and he's really happy with it. It's just the unknown of something we're not expecting on the bike is what could really unlace the whole process and everything we've gone through so far. So he was happy to just say, okay, just keep working, keep building, give me another few weeks to get the tendons and ligaments, I guess, the roots can sink into the bone a little bit more.
Okay.
Is the words he said. So just let the ligament grow into the bone a little bit more and get a little bit stronger. Mm-hmm. And you'll be able to step up your physio with your shoulder and stuff. So physiotherapy, our guy out here is really happy with it. He's super pumped on it, and we're just going to keep pushing it until it's really 100%. So yeah, and then I'll be back on the bike really shortly, like a lot sooner than. So if we're playing it if things keep going at the progression rate we're doing things,
mm-hmm.
I'll be back on the bike at 1 month and 4 weeks, which is 2 weeks sooner than both the doctor and physiotherapy have ever seen anyone come back from this injury.
Wow.
The fastest they've ever seen anyone come back was 2 months. So as far as that, we're really doing amazing at it, actually. But it's just not amazing enough to be back for the East Coast, the start of the East Coast series, put it that way.
Was this one big crash, or was this like a wear and tear kind of thing from a series of things?
No, it was just a big crash, mate. Honestly, I've crashed 4 times last year, and every time I hit the ground, I got injured pretty much. Mm-hmm. Like that's honestly, except the crash at Parlay and that second moto. I mean, dude, and my knee, I didn't crash, but so yeah, three crashes really of 4. And 3 of them I got injured. It's just, I mean, we went to the doctors. We wanted to get tests done just to see if my bones were a little bit thinner or not as dense. Mm-hmm. My bone density was lower than the next guy, and the doctor, who's operated on me, said, no, your bones are amazing. It's just there's so much energy in your body when you're riding, so much force and energy pumping through your body when it takes a blow like that. You're so committed and it just pinpoints to one spot, and it's just unfortunate. But you got a 150-pound, no, heavy. I don't know how. I don't even know pounds yet, dude. You got a 100 kilo motorcycle coming down on top of you or throwing you into the ground. So yeah, that's just the downside of the sport, dude. It's the highs are unmatchable and so are the lows. So.
Whew. And we haven't even gotten to the ACL happened, going into the off season. Essentially, you missed the very, very end of the year, so that was kind of a little extra quiet because it's not like we didn't see you for one race after another. How was that? How was that recovery? Because we never really even saw you get back after that.
Yeah, no, it was golden. I got back into training and I was back 3 months on that one.
Okay.
That was which was still good,
Yeah.
That's a 5 to 6 month one. We done that in 3 months, and that was feeling awesome. Like, I don't even worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
I was back into riding, and I was feeling really good. Generally, the team was really happy with how I was going. I was already so close to the boys in lap times with just very, very little time in comparison to the 3 months of Supercross they all had under their belt. So that side of things was really good. Just my crashes, just they don't tend to be a little front wheel washout in the turn.
Yeah, so it's really all you can say at this point. I know you want to have a solution bad, but all your solutions could be is you've been unlucky the last couple times you crashed, and then maybe that eventually stops.
Yeah, mate. Basically, I mean, it'd be awesome to say, all right, I'm done with all my injuries for the rest of my career. Like, let's just put a pin in that,
Yeah.
But mate, it's just, I guess my story's going to have a different path to the next guy or my brother or whoever it may be,
So the riding date here, is Supercross at all this year a possibility? Maybe you don't want to rush it normally, but you missed it all last year too. So are you kind of itching to maybe try it somehow at the end?
Yeah, for sure, mate. For sure, I'd love to.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I mean, I'd love to just get 100% because I really honestly don't want to devalue myself and hinder my market value just for the sake of getting a gate drop. I know what I'm capable of. The team does. Everyone in my circle knows what I'm capable of. And I think we're pretty safe to say I'm going to be a guy that's going to battle for race wins and battle up front, and that's what we work to be. So, and especially after seeing my brother's success, it's kind of, well, not success, but, the potential, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that is kind of, what's the word? Assuring or
reinforced.
Like, backs up.
Yep.
Reinforces the belief
Mm-hmm.
and the goal and what we're working for, So I think I'm just going to get 100% first and see where we're at. If the time schedule is, hey, we're 5 rounds left on the board, then, hey, rock and roll, let's go and do it, if we're 100%. But if we're only 100% at 2 or 3 rounds to go or 2 rounds to go, then, well, hey, it's only 4 weeks till Hangtown. Let's maybe just switch our focus. Just looking at the risk versus the reward, So,
So it could be either east or west, whatever. You might just get out on the track, or you might not, but options are pretty open at this point.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be back at Seattle. It could be, I don't know. I haven't even looked at the East Coast schedule after Daytona, So it could something down the track there, but yeah, the number one priority and goal now is just to be 100% back on my bike.
How much time did you get on Supercross between the back from the ACL and riding, and then this surgery a little over a month ago? How much time did you get?
I had 3 weeks on it.
Yep.
So, funnily enough, Johnny, our trainer, worked out that in Jets first Supercross preseason, he got more time on a Supercross track than I have in 2 seasons with the 2 months I got last year.
Yep.
the 3 weeks I got this year. So Jet's at like 4 months, so he's 2 months ahead of me in Supercross experience. So, not a whole lot of great amount of time.
Well, that's probably a factor too then. So it'd be one thing to be like the shoulder's good, but if you had raced 50 Supercross races in your career, maybe you jump back in. But do you still feel you need a little extra time just in case?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, a guy like Christian Craig or an experienced Supercross rider, just using him as an example, it could have an injury like he did last year. He didn't even ride before round 1 and then came out and rode a day before it, with his
thumb
foot injury.
Yeah,
thumb. So, and could come out and race, So I think that experience thing definitely has a massive effect in the decision.
Can you find some sort of silver lining somehow in this? Is this some sort of grit, some sort of determination, motivation, something? Because this is obviously a whole bunch of kicks to the balls, pretty much. Have you been able to find some silver lining?
Yeah, it definitely does suck.
Yeah,
for sure. But I just fingers crossed, get all the bad times of my career out early, so we can have golden days ahead. But no, I mean, mate, it's life. Anything can happen, and I mean, it's not. This is the times where the mentally tough people can pull through. It's really easy to remain mentally tough when everything's going good, you're doing well, everyone's patting you on the back, and you're in the spotlight or whatever. It's times like this when you're forgotten about, when no one's calling, it doesn't matter what's going on, and you're not on the bike, you're not working towards that goal of winning on your bike as such. So it's just character building, and we're fine. I know I'll be back and we're going to have a great summer as well. So, it's just character building, mate.
Well, I feel like the program you've been on, going over to Europe and talking to your dad a lot, I feel like you guys really value that. Like, you got to have some hard times. Not, obviously, the plan wasn't to have this level of hard times, but I think you guys understand the value of having the dark days sometimes, too.
100%. I mean, if there's one thing we know really well how to do is that's live uncomfortably. So I think always living like uncomfortably, or having to prove something, or having to constantly do things the hard way is something we've prided ourselves with, and just what we've had to deal with. We've never had the golden ideal sort of scenario play out, as such, in things where hard work is involved. So it's always sort of like, well, we call it kind of the Lawrence way, me and Dad joke about it, like, geez, it wouldn't happen if we didn't do it this way, Mm-hmm. Like, it's kind of funny, like, geez, wouldn't have turned out if we didn't have to do it the hard way. That's just because how it is our whole life, we've always had to do things the hard way. Yeah,
so you're probably better equipped to deal with it than a lot of others, so that might help you a little bit. Yeah,
for sure.
Yep.
No, we're definitely a little bit. I'd like to think.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Hey, the good thing is you did get that window last year. You got the moto win. You were fast. You led some laps and all that. You've got a little something to draw on there that's got to help a little bit to be like, okay, I do know that when I was good, I was good.
For sure, and it's kind of pretty cool to realize, with how off the mark our bike was last year, mm-hmm. compared to what it was, and still how good we were able to do. Every start I started in the top 5 or top 6, I came through to the front, mm-hmm. and was either first or second. So out of all of the motos, 24 motos, I only got 3 top 5 starts, and I got second in one. Well, no, Parla wasn't even a top 5 start, but still, the other 2 I won those motos, and otherwise was in the top 5 coming from a top 15 start. So, that's good. The bike's come a very, very long way. I think the whole paddock has seen, got to give kudos to the Geico Honda team on that deal. Christian and Jed have been really good on their starts. in all the races they've done this year. So yeah, I think a massive pat on the back to the Geico team for that.
Okay, so your brother, meanwhile, while you've been out, he gets his shot at Supercross almost a little early, because I know at first, like coming out of the Reddits, I didn't even know how quickly he would do it. He ends up racing West. He didn't win, but like you said, there is some success in there, even if it's not a result on paper. So when you see that, how do you react? Are you like, dude, I wish that were me. I'm pumped that's my brother. That also makes me feel better. Like, what are all your reactions when you see him going that fast?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's more it's funny. Like he's my brother and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's always that competitiveness, selfishness. That competitor's selfishness of, I wish that were me.
Sure.
But when I'm watching him race, like I want him to do extremely well. Like seeing him crash at A2 was pretty gnarly, because I mean, me and Dad have watched Jet ride the most out of anyone. You know, we've watched him our whole lives, and I've never seen him crash and just hit the deck and not move.
Oh.
You know, so that was pretty like tough. I was heartbroken for him, because it would have been amazing to see him win, and I think that would have been awesome. But at the same time, I was like, shit, now I got to try and one up that. Like, okay, I got 3 Supercrosses to try and get a win to beat his thing, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's good to see him. At the end of the day, I'd love to be, you know, rock up on the weekend and it'd be which Lawrence brother's going to win this weekend. You know, I'd love to, if someone else is going to take that bonus, that win bonus away from me, as much as I'd hate it to be my brother, at the same time, I'd prefer it to be my brother. Yeah.
I mean, look, it's not like when he crashed, you're like, good, now he's not going to win a race before me. Like,
yeah. Thought, no, dude, the first initial thing was, like, I can't say it on an interview, but, like, just scream at the television, you know? It was
right.
ridiculous. It was, yeah, it sucked to see, dude. Like, your little bro, and he's just freaking hit the deck. I mean, fuck.
There it is.
We give each other so much crap, and everyone sees that.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, that's my blood out there on the track, you know, so.
You got O'Mara in your corner, too, sounds like. I mean, yep. Jet was racing and mentioned him. So last year, I think it was just you and your dad grinding, I think you said, right? So that's a big step.
Yeah, for sure. One of the reasons being, you know, we got to know Johnny through our agent, Lucas. He's really good friends with Johnny. And obviously, outdoors, we were very upset with how the bike's performance was, and we were constantly hounding the team on, hey, like, this needs to be better. It's not competitive, and we need this better and stuff. So we wanted to really step back and make sure that, you know, next year we also improve on ourselves, you know. So we thought, okay, well, let's bring in Johnny. He was really open to the idea. Let's try and make ourselves another 5% better, or just add something else to the puzzle to make sure next year where we've done 110% that we're ready to go, you know. So we step up as well as the team, because it's all good and well to point fingers at the team and the bike, or mainly just the bike, and then not do anything about yourself. So it's we really made it a known fact with the team that this bike needs to improve to be somewhat competitive. So we wanted to make sure we did the same. So we both stepped up. And yeah, bringing Johnny on was a full team decision, you know, with Lucas and my father and stuff, and the team were obviously behind it. You know, they were really, like, happy to hear that we were also trying to improve and step up again. Not that we were just pointing the finger at the bike and thought we were fine. You know, we weren't the problem. So yeah, it's been really cool. Obviously he's had a big impact on Jet and how he's developed from juniors to seniors. You know, he's been one of the best junior to senior riders since, I think, Faulkner or AC even. I can't remember what Faulkner did first Supercross year, but
yeah, something like that. Yep.
So yeah, it's cool to see, and yeah, we're working together. We're out here in Cali at the moment, and yeah, just mountain biking and doing all our stuff and suffering. So it's cool. He's a cool guy, Johnny O. Really, massive thank you to him for being on board.
Look, I know that Johnny is like one of the gnarliest trainer guys ever, both training people and then the training he does. But talk about the Supercross technique experience that he brings. He's one of the rare trainers that actually has won a Supercross title in his own right. So he's bringing that to the table too.
Yep.
You don't hear about that much. You only hear about gnarly mountain biking.
For sure. I was aware. I honestly don't know if Jet's aware that Johnny actually won titles. I think Jet just thinks he's some old guy that rides bicycles and used to ride a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, I was aware and knew he was, before obviously the badass mountain biker came about, that he was, really good on the bike. So it's cool. He always tells us he was a lot more of a technical rider, a lot technical, more like me and Jet, not just a rip it and grip it bulldog kind of rider.
Yep.
So he can relate to us and how we ride a bike. For example, he could break things down and just tell us, hey, just do this. It's all you got to do. Your body will do the rest. And sure enough, with Jet, obviously learning whoops and stuff, and I wish I had this in my corner last year when I first started riding. Just with the whoops, hey, just, dude, put your front wheel on the top of every whoop. It's that simple. And sure enough, your Jet's body was doing the rest. You counterbalance and yeah, I mean, you're seeing Jet pass Christian Craig in the whoop section at A2. I mean, to pass a guy like Christian Craig in the whoops as a rookie, dude, I bet no one could say the last time that's happened. So if it's ever happened, so things like that. Just because he knows our ability, we'll do whatever we have to do with our body to make that front wheel tap on every whoop. Things like that, he knows our ability on a bike and our skills are good enough that you don't have to, come in, your head needs to be above the crossbar, you want to lock your knees out and overcomplicate it, especially with Jet, if you start talking and the sentence goes on for more than 30 seconds, it's a lost reception, So yeah, it's been awesome, really good.
That's pretty cool. Hey, the last thing, I remember talking to it was probably a year ago or a little over a year ago, and you guys were really just adjusting to America in general. What is your lifestyle like now? First of all, were you actually living with Mertz for a while, or are you still doing that?
Yeah, so we moved to Florida.
Okay.
And I have a house in Florida now.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, live together there and stuff. And Jet's been pretty much out here with the O'Maras the whole time. His whole off season, to be honest, he had only been back to the house they're renting just after Christmas time, I believe. After his crash, actually, he came back for a week and a half, and then came back out here. So, or 2 weeks or whatever it was. But no, it's good. I'm out back here with Mertz again and stuff, and Jet's with Johnny, and yeah, no, it's good, mate. It's every day. It's just work, we wake up, we do our work, and we come home and we're smoked and just chill. So it's already 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock when we're home, and then when we're riding, it's even longer days. We're waking up at 7 and or even earlier, and then leaving at 7:45, 8 o'clock, and riding, and then getting lunch, going back to the workshop, going for our cycle. And Johnny and Jet are the worst combination because they're so freaking slow. You're not rushing them and on their heels, hey, come on, hurry up. Dude, they would take an hour and a half to get ready. So all of the transition times of getting dressed for mountain biking and stuff, it's funny, but yeah, we end up coming back at dark time. There's been times we've been stuck up Skyline or another mountain bike trail with no LED lights, and it's dark time, and geez, coming down the mountain in dark and using an iPhone torch, and it's freaking hell, Johnny, we should have turned around and we need to bring mountain bike lights, and Yeah, it's funny. There's always something going on. I tell you, it's a very interesting crew.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, especially if you're living at Mert's house. I think the only thing you're missing is someone to shoot videos of this. That would be gold.
100%. Honestly, you could make it freaking you. But then again, I will say this: the guy would get a lot of filming
Yeah.
tapes. But what actually makes the cut to be published and show everyone else? I don't know how much you would be able to use. You might have 5 hours of footage and be only able to use 20 minutes of it. I will say that.
Okay. So let me get this straight. So a lot of this time you've actually been in Florida. Like while you've been recovering, you weren't in California the whole time.
No, I've been home, baby. No traffic. No 4-hour car drives going to get lunch. It's been smooth, chilling, just training, working my butt off during the day, relax, do it up, wake up, do it again.
Okay, so what brought you back to California just recently here? Because, yeah, you were at, they just had you at San Diego, and I'm like, oh, man, the guy's finally back. So what brought you back out?
So my doctor's appointment was last Friday.
I see.
And that was pretty much it.
Oh, okay. All right.
That and I was come back to mountain bike with Johnny and stuff because my shoulder was good. Like I was coming in hot. Like, hey man, we're getting cleared. Like it's go time next week. And then the doctors are sort of like, hey, no, you might want to pump the brakes a little bit. It's probably not the best thing. And so then we had to regroup and we got our plan now.
A little wishful thinking probably on your part.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm out there by myself. I'm working. I know the progress and work I'm putting in and just feeling like superhuman after a month from a surgery and doing this. I'm doing this amount of push-ups. I'm doing planks, like the whole deal, and I'm not feeling anything. So it's just, you know how guys are.
Yeah, that's right. That's the idea. That's the only reason you're going to come back at all because you have no fear and you feel stronger than maybe you even are. Yeah.
I'm like, hey man, I get the bike ready. I'm texting the mechanic like, hey bud, have I got a bike for next week? Like, I'm good. I'm good to go. And after the doctor, it's like, hey man, like, nah, it's not going to be next week, unfortunately. Like maybe another 2 or 3 weeks, and have to backpedal all my freaking messages to everyone. So.
Well, better than the other way around. At least you're ambitious.
Yeah.
At least you're not. I guess what we learned here is you're not sitting on the couch feeling too sorry for yourself.
Dude, if there's one thing we are, it's very optimistic.
Okay. That's good.
Very optimistic.
All right. I mean, you need it right now. Well, I appreciate the honesty as always. Who the heck knows when we'll see you racing? Hangtown for sure. Maybe earlier.
Yeah, hopefully earlier, mate. That's the goal. At the moment, Jet's sort of the faster brother, so that's the motive.
Oh, you've had to say this. You've had to admit this.
I had to, mate. I'm on the couch and he's racing, so it's a win by forfeit, I guess you could call it.
Well, at the moment you're both on the couch, so take that.
That's a good point.
But it is.
You're only as good as your last race, and his last race was a pretty good one.
Yes.
The last lap, and my last race was over 6 months ago. So.
Yeah. Okay. He's out front right now. Well, there's something to motivate you to do the work in the morning.
It is. I put the hurt on him going up the mountains, out mountain biking.
Oh, all right. You already got a little edge. There you go.
Yeah, get the hurt on him. So that's always fun.
We just need the Lawrence brothers to be healthy and racing against each other at the same time because they are hilarious. And from all the insiders that I've talked to, quite different. You would think when you end up with two brothers that you end up with a very similar situation. But Jet obviously got the smooth, talented riding style, and then Hunter's just a grinder. And it'll be interesting to see in the long run which works out better. Obviously, Jet is a huge sensation, and as much as Hunter's like, oh, I'm going to have to win in my third Supercross to outdo him, that's going to be tough. I think Hunter's one that in the long run, the work, he's going to grind it out, he's going to figure it out. I don't think it's going to come as easy to him and as quickly as it did for Jet. But we've definitely seen this sport go either way. You never really know, does the talent versus the grit, which one works out better? That'll be interesting. And one other thing I want to throw in about the Lawrence brothers. I've met their dad. I've talked to their dad, Darren, quite a bit. He is, I feel, one of the best mini bike or amateur or just moto dads out there. The guy seems very knowledgeable, very good at keeping his kids grounded. It also helps that they've had this certainly difficult background trying to come from Australia and then through Europe, not making a lot of money. Just think if Jet and Hunter were born in the United States with the talent they have, they would have been given so much so soon. They almost have a built-in humbleness, but then the dad is there to reinforce that. But not also in a bad way of like really being gnarly on them. I'm just really impressed with what I've seen from the dad. I used to stay away from the parent thing completely for a couple of reasons. A, most of them are ridiculous, so I don't want to hear it. And B, I feel like the parents don't always sign up to be public figures, so I leave them alone. But I've learned through the years that that's a mistake. There's too much to learn. The parents are too integral to the process. You're leaving out a big part of your learning process with these riders to leave the parents out. And some of these ridiculous parents feel that if you do not talk to them, that you must hate them, you must have a bias, there must be another parent that's paying you to stay away from them. It is odd. My theory was the parents didn't sign up to be public figures and they'd rather not be. I've actually found it's more when you don't treat them as public figures, more often they get mad at that, which is a sad state of affairs, by the way, that the parents want to be that integral to the process in the public eye when in most sports you don't even know who these people are. It's just very odd. So somewhere in the middle, Darren Lawrence is almost a perfect mashup. He's out there. He's involved. He's not too hard on his boys, but he definitely keeps them grounded. He's not looking for the spotlight, but if you go to him and ask him stuff, he's happy to talk. He's not thinking you're getting insider info. He's not mad that you talk to someone else more than him. It's awesome. It's going to help these kids go a long way. As much as we would like to say the parents don't have anything to do with it because we don't like that, unfortunately, it's just the truth, especially in the 250 class. These guys are young. The Lawrence brothers, I'm giving them like a 30% better chance at both succeeding because of the dad. Think about that. That's how it works these days. So that's our show. Thanks to Yoshimura. You heard Hunter Lawrence says the bike is a lot better this year. Everyone on the Geico Honda team feels that way, although I know they were not upset with the exhaust systems in the past. So go to yoshimura-rd.com and you can get an exhaust for your Honda just like the Lawrence bros run on theirs. And also, of course, go to racerxonline.com/subscribe. Get the $10 Rocky Mountain gift card. Get the bag of coffee. Get the digital and print edition of the magazine. It's only $30 total, and we're giving you more than half of that as freebie stuff right back at you. So do it. Keep the lights on so we can keep doing all the fun stuff that you like outside of the magazine. I'm telling you what, that is grind. That is hard work you put into that. So I want to know that people care, and I know you do. That's it for our podcast this week. I might have two next week. I got a bunch of things planned. It's a really exciting time of the year because there's all these other races started. We got Supercross continues to be exciting, and just so much this time of year. Most other forms of racing and events, a lot of riding is shut down essentially, right? January and February in the winter, and then March things start rolling in. So we got a lot of cool information coming your way. So keep subscribing, liking, rating the podcast. Some Google Analytics people say that helps. So help us. Thanks for listening.